All right, good afternoon, good evening. Oh my gosh, welcome to a round of 64 winners bracket match for A Link to the Past randomizer tournament for SpeedGaming Live 2021. For better or for worse, we are in the round of 64 with Gem and GFE. And, for us, this is going to be an extremely, incredibly awesome match to watch. In fact, so Gem was actually a finalist last year. And on the other side of the bracket last year was GFE, who was a semi-finalist. And you know what? For us, it's going to be awesome. For them, if they want to keep advancing to the brackets, at the end, this might be, a bit of a rough start in order to progress to, where they were certainly last year. The winner of this match will certainly go on to go face certainly another easy opponent. You might have heard of him, Wayne. The loser, unfortunately, will have to find some redemption in the losers bracket. I am Claire Mouse. I am joined here today by actually GFE's league teammate for quite a few seasons now, right? Salvo Tender. Salvo, are you ready for this?
Hey, Clearmouse. Yeah, I am really stoked about this match. When you let me know this one was happening, I had to sign up. Gem, GFE, two great runners in the community, and like you say, went really deep in the last SpeedGaming Live tournament. So to see them meet up this early, it's really exciting. I can't wait to see how this one plays out. And here we go.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. And in fact, so last year actually the format was unfortunately, just due to time constraints, it was a best of one. And best of ones, single elimination is just really rough, right? For anyone who's competing, especially in Randomizer, we've certainly seen many a race kind of determined by some unfortunate item placements. But in this case, this year, they've actually made the format a little bit nicer. And it is a double elimination bracket, right? So even though these guys are facing up so early in the bracket, their tournament life doesn't end here. They still got another shot. Granted, it's going to be a longer path to the finals, but at least they're not out of it.
Totally, yeah. That's nice that there's a bit of a safety net there to fall into the losers bracket if the worst should happen here, because we don't want to see either one of these runners take an early exit. These guys are both great.
Yeah, no, we certainly don't. It's just really unfortunate that these are. And by the way, Sabo, like the losers bracket, everyone's kind of already finished up their round of 128 and getting losers bracket 1, winners bracket 2, etc. The losers bracket is so scary. There are some really scary names down there. Just with notable upsets. Yeah, so like some for example, Kyung is in losers bracket. Andy is in losers bracket. Yeah, just his name. Alin is in losers bracket. It's just because you have matches like this, right? Gem versus GFE. Someone has to go down there, and no one wants to face them.
Yeah, and it just shows you how strong the overall community is, that you can have a losers bracket that is full of big names, So, yeah, we don't want to see either one of these guys go down, but someone will have to today. Looks like a little bit of a sync up here we're doing with GFE to make sure we get the timing all right here.
Yeah, all right, so it looks like, yep, just barely synced up here. It looks like we actually got the first chest, which is a small key requisite. Oh yeah, so right, in terms of actual modes, for those of you who may not have kept up, I think, with the tournament so far, this is a modified casual boot setting, so standard start, which means that everyone is going to go through the escape section. We do get, right off the bat, sword and boots. Game is automatically playable right from the get-go. We get to zoom across everything, and then we have it's a modified hard item pool, right? So no gold sword today, no red mail, no fire shield or mirror shield for that matter, and you're gonna see some gradual health growth because there are going to be a lot more heart pieces in the pool as opposed to heart containers, and of course, most importantly. Probably one of the most standing out things about this mode is that the bows, unlike most other, or if not all other, is non-progressive. So they're going to have to find the one and only bow to keep going. And even though they find silvers early, it's just going to look real pretty up there in the item quiver until you can find the bow to use them.
Yeah, that's a really nice little change, because that goes back to kind of old school, how the randomizers used to be before we did progressive bows. So a nice little touch to the rule set to make it a little more interesting.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I was gonna wonder, like, at some point, do you remember actually when bows became progressive? That seemed to be like a thing.
It 2019, I want to say.
Okay.
Maybe 2019, and since then it really has taken off as the one true mode for people is to have progressive bows. Going back to this kind of split system is kind of a throwback. It's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, and I think it's actually, for what it's worth, especially for a competitive mode, Seems like SGL settings have actually been received pretty well, especially, this is SGLIVE. There is actually a pretty hefty cash prize at the end of all this. I think right now the prize pool, which can certainly still grow, based on basically viewer donations, is right shy about $5,000.
That's big money.
Yeah, oh yeah. So first place I think gets half of that pot, and then it kind of trickles down for the remaining like second and third, fourth. But yeah, holy cow! Like that is there's a lot of line here. Not only for like the normal fame and accolades. We've actually got some pretty nice dough at the end of all this.
Sure, yeah. Quick shout out while our runners are heading to the back of Escape here. Shout out to our tracker today, Scott G. Clicking those buttons, really appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, if only these runners could like find something for him to do, right? And so far,
I know, right? He's bored back there.
Yeah, he started with a sword and boots, but he's already got to be able to click, and we're still looking for stuff.
Hopefully the back has a couple of things to kind of get this seed going.
Yeah. Also, Savo, if you notice that we've got both Gem and GFE on camera today, which is probably one of the best things about SGL. You see Gem really loving the fact that he kept grabbing the torch as he was trying to get out of the key rat hallway.
Definitely, kind of it personalizes the runners here, so we kind of get to see a face behind the name that we've known for so long.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I think actually it was like Fear Agent who mentioned yesterday this camera angle is like the gamer camera angle or something. It makes you look more intimidating or something. All right, so Gem exiting out with no Y item, no bombs, no item. We did get a glove. It did look like nothing, I guess, in Saint chest to help us. So I guess we're gonna have to go find something else.
Map check gives us 2 crystals, Hera and Eastern Palace, and a green pendant in Desert Palace.
Well, there goes my hope of potentially having a Bo Lambos fight for this seed.
Yeah, right. Oh, Flipper's out of bonk rocks there. Okay.
This is interesting. So Flippers, okay, in addition to the gloves, most likely is going to put our good light world friendly fish in logic. The fact that they have Flippers does complicate things just a little bit, just because you can't do one of maybe the more commonly seen Houlihan setups if you really need that extra money for Sora.
Mm-hmm. Nothing of value on the lumberjack ledge there.
Yeah, it actually looks like right. So certainly GFE and Gem are taking same path so far, and that lumberjack knowledge it usually is okay. It's really useful when there is something there, especially if your opponent doesn't check it. That is like a huge advantage.
And in this mode, when you've got boots off the bat, it's usually a check that people always do off the start because you can just dash up real quick. Sometimes I see people skip that if they're just playing kind of regular with no boots. But yeah, it's an easy, quick check to do. Get it out of your mind right away.
Yeah. And especially, it's just also peace of mind too, right? It's like, if you know you need to go kill Akka early, that is you exactly know what you're gonna look for. Alright, so Gem here actually showing us a little bit of game knowledge. So this is actually, I think, another benefit of starting out with boots. In the case where you end up finding nothing in terms of resources to kind of help you out, for example, for bombs, you get boots to get a free bomb from these bonk rocks here. GFE still can do the same thing. Looks like they're going to only take one. Oh, no, GFE is trying to show us some more game knowledge. Getting a 50-50 rock, but unfortunately did not win the coin flip.
Looks like a couple more bombs were found in Blind's hut, so our runners are going to be well equipped for the rest of Kakariko at least, which is nice to see.
Did you also happen to spot a light source in the well?
Ooh, yeah. How about that, huh?
So, so that lamp, especially early, is quite suspicious.
I know, right? It always gets my head kind of, the gears turning.
Now, I'm sure GFE and Gem are very capable of doing dark rooms. So probably the thing that they care most about that lamp is the fact it's a fire source, right? So they get to the backup desert if they need to. does put some more dark rooms and logic, and also I guess if they need to or desire to do Hera basement, they have that option.
Right on, yeah. Also picked up a bottle in the well there, so that'll get Sick Kid taken care of as well.
Oh yeah, that's super convenient. Yeah, and I think we mentioned maybe before, if we haven't already, as part of the modified heart item pool, there are 4 bottles placed, but we are capped at only being able to hold on to 2 of them, and they're always empty. It's just like you gotta wait for like the milkman or something in order to help you fill in those bottles.
What's the kid got here? Just his allowance.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he spent the rest of his money on some very much needed medicine that we haven't seen yet, right?
Yeah, the kid needs to take care of himself.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what have we actually gotten out of the wells? It looks like we've gotten a lamp. Is that it? Or sorry, that Kakariko.
Pretty much, yeah. The lamp was it for Kakariko.
Oh,
there we go.
Hello. Yeah. All right. So, I guess this could be a good decision. So they have Dark World access. They can't actually do anything in the Dark World. Not without, I guess, that Moon Pearl.
Right, so we got to assume that that's coming up pretty soon. You might see Pearl down in like South Shore or something kind of easy, or it could be really brutal. Could be something like Zora, but we're likely going to be finding it soon.
Yeah, and actually, so with that lamp though, and I guess double gloves, I think we can also go up the mountain for a quick trip. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do too much without maybe like a hook shot or a mirror or a hammer. But it's just because there's like one logical check available to us, on the mountain. It doesn't mean the game won't put it there if it chooses to. Oh, dude, did you see that? The heart from Gem? Man, these, we were talking about top tier execution. I mean, they just make everything look so like simple and easy and slick, and it's just like, man.
It's pretty impressive, yeah, to see what some of these runners are capable of. Absolutely.
So it looks like the GFE, though, is going to opt to at least do South Shore first. Probably going to maybe defer his trip over to Kingston. Looks like we didn't really find anything. I mean, other than that red boomerang. Nothing at least progressive.
Yeah. Piece of heart. Gonna leave that alone. Oh, GFE going for a bit of a play here, going over to Agina's cave here.
Yeah, actually, so Savo, remind me, so you are actually on GFE's lead team, right? Is that for like all seasons?
All seasons. Yeah, we've been locked in for that long.
Oh, okay. So, do you have any insights potentially on GFE's like strategy or like play style here? Like, do you know if he goes to Agina like usually often?
This seems like a little bit of a play for him. I think he's looking at his competition. He knows Gem's good. So he might be trying to think like, okay, is this a check that Gem is going to skip on for a little while? Maybe I get lucky and I find something. 5 rupees is not it, man, but it was worth a try to see if maybe Moon Pearl's sticking around there. He can get into the Dark World a little sooner. But I think he was metagaming a little bit there on that one.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good knowledge. At least Agina had 5 times as more rupees as Sikid. So we're moving up in the world for NPCs and money.
True,
so maybe Hobo will have like 20 for us or something.
Ooh. Male upgrade in the Ice Rod Cave. That's nice. That's the only one that we're going to see. Well, it's the only one that Gem can now collect. Nice pick up there early on.
Oh, that crow was a little close.
Yup.
Yeah, in Fake Flipper State, you never want to get hurt. It does very bad things. Especially, it's basically like dying in the overworld, which, you know what? If you want to, quickly warp over to Link's house or Sanctuary, or, potentially the mountain if you have it open, it's just easier to push select and stay put out. Speaking of plays, Salvo, do you see where GFE is going right now?
Yeah, Eastern play. I think Chad is already talking about this Eastern play. Again, it feels like just a slight little bit of metagame. Like, I'm gonna try and get these weird spots and just hope to luck out and find something, which I gotta respect it.
Yeah, and especially the Eastern being a crystal, right? You don't usually see runners come in here this early, but as you said, right? GFE is maybe, he knows he's up against gems. It's not like ladder, doesn't know who his opponent is. And if GFE thinks he needs an edge, this could be it.
Yeah, definitely.
GFE Gem though, he's doing so he does set up a water block. In order to get to Waterfall Ferry. So I guess what the even flip was actually, this is actually in logic. You actually see him, especially nice to come over here with a bottle. Just more and more because, in this case, bottles never come pre-filled. Waterfall Ferry basically is like a freebie to see, hey, can I get a freebie potion out of this? It just happens today that it's just a beat, but Gem spotting something pretty useful there on Zora Ledge, and with those flippers, he is going to be able to pick them up lickety split.
Yeah, too bad for GFE here. Likely not too much good stuff here. He could luck out and find something else that could be pretty key. But that Moon Pearl is what we're looking for at this point. So Gem has kind of got the upper hand early on here. But could be something juicy still here in Eastern Palace that GFE can score a little earlier.
Yeah, so I remember seeing the compass. Did you happen to see if there was like a map early?
Yeah, all the items are backloaded here, so he's just starting to get into them now. He's going to do the through the dark room here, and then the last one is unfortunately on Armos Knights, I think.
Okay, so but if he finds the bow here, this is it's kind of a mean place to put the bow, but he's gonna be able to full clear this place. And as we said, right, bows are not progressive, so the bows here, Gem's going to have to really, I guess, dig deep in order to, motivate himself to come back over to Eastern.
Yeah, totally. If it does happen to be here, for sure.
Oh, unfortunate, just a piece of heart. And actually, just so speaking of, right, so we mentioned, or if we haven't already, the health item pool is just only 2 heart containers out there and sank heart, so effectively 3 heart containers, and everything else is heart pieces. So you see, actually, even though they picked up like a lot of stuff, it all basically was heart pieces, and like the fact that they had to get up to 2 extra hearts, right? Basically, it's just basically heart pieces at this point. So I mean, that's a lot.
And with so many of the containers kicked out of the pool there, seeing a piece of heart, on the map or something, you might want to actually pick it up because you might not get too many more along the way.
Yeah, that's a very excellent point. Gem actually was nice enough to do a pretty long map check. I did see a pendant pod, which I don't know. Pendant pod doesn't really burn many a runner. I'm not sure what's going to motivate him to go over there right now, but I don't think I caught anything else.
Yeah, I also was not paying attention to Gem's.
No, we're all good. This is why we have a tracker. It's going to help us fill in the rest of the crystal and pendant prizes. I did notice that Thieves Town is actually a crystal. That's something you always want to see, by the way, when you don't have hammer.
Oh yeah, totally. So we're seeing 5-6 crystals are Swamp Palace and Skull Woods. Good to know. Okay. And Meyer was the other pendant.
All right. Okay. Nice. So potentially we only need to go medallion hunting for one of them. And of course, everyone's favorite crystal dungeon, Toro Rock, and of course the ice rod has not shown up. What a surprise!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So GFE not too far behind here. If he hurries up, he can get to that Moon Pearl pretty quick. But Gem is definitely making some inroads into the Dark World here so far. Skips on Thieves Town, it looks like, for now. Maybe thinking about that hammer and not wanting to do the dungeon yet.
Yeah, I guess like maybe one option potentially was maybe he, for some runners certainly front 4, some people just consider that to be overworld. Looks like though even Gem is just not willing to even dip inside. I guess I'm kind of curious to see, like, maybe he doesn't want to because, like, he just picked up Blue Mail as well, and he has 6 hearts. Maybe Death Warping is just too slow.
Could be, yeah.
Alright, so, oh, hey, look at this potential! GFE knows he needs to go over to the Zora area. Looks like he is gonna try and get himself enough funds in order to pay off his debts.
Okay, this could be a big play. If Zora's got something, I don't see Gem going back there anytime soon, because he's cleaned everything else out over in that area.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so, like, maybe there's an option of you, like, going back, you know, with Catfish, with a mirror, but yeah, it's pretty isolated for Gem at this point. But, oh my gosh, did you, what version are we on, Sebo?
I know, right? What is this? What is this? What a hype cave! Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
you know, I heard like the very first version of the randomizer, like was it V18 or 19 or something? Like basically, like Hype Cave, yeah, Hype Cave was actually hype, and that's where it got its name.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you said progressive bows were also around that, or no, non-progressive bows were around that time as well.
It was a crazy time, man.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So and of course, Hype Cave being one of the, especially when we saw the hammer. Poor Gem, poor Gem. But yeah, let's say, like, especially when you see the hammer at Hype Cave, you know, there's like not really a way, you know, a better way than to enter in the Dark World from like the mist location, and then you have to run all the way around, right?
Yeah, so now we've got a full package of stuff to work with here. Hammer, mirror, another sword, which is also nice. So yeah, the world's kind of opened up quickly for Gem. He's got a lot of options now.
Yeah, and you actually, oh no, so unfortunately the Houlihan, you know, so I've been told never to do math on stream, and I was, unfortunately it looks like maybe the 225 in addition to whatever GFE had earlier was just barely not enough in order to pay off, to get to 500. Oh no.
And I mean, now you're committed. You have to get these extra 3 rupees. You can't just bail on this. So he's trying to scramble to find something.
Yeah, and okay, so it looks like he's gonna go over to the Surefire's Rupee Cave, gonna guarantee himself 20 rupees. Did he by chance check King's Tomb?
No, he did not. I don't think he's checked Kingston yet, so I think he's still without the boomerang.
Yeah, okay, so that's kind of unfortunate. So actually, Gem gave us a very rare early stun prize, and it was actually, happens to be 1 rupee. There were, I mean, enough enemies on that screen in order to get him to 500, but...
Yeah, this is too bad. This is just eating up time, and you know, you're feeling it. Every second that's ticking by when you're picking up these measly 20 rupees, you hate it as a runner.
Yeah, and you know, and you know, kudos to GFE for basically, you know, we can see his camera. He looks very, you know, calm and collected. Maybe there was a slight reaction every once in a while, but I'm certainly hoping he doesn't feel too bad, you know, because he went to Eastern, right, and didn't really get much out of it. And then now he's like here trying to, you know, get enough money for Zora, and it's like, hopefully he doesn't feel too bad, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, you can't get too down on yourself this early in a race. Things can happen. Gem picking up Bombos in the hammer pegs. Okay,
that's interesting. Also because Gem, that's Dash, man. Oh, sorry. So Bombos is also a ticket into Ice Palace as well.
That's right. We don't have Fire Rod, so that could be our ticket in for sure. Oh no! All that grinding, and all we get is 20. Ay.
All right, so at least GFE though, you know, for what it's worth, he has been very thorough. He has left nothing isolated at this point, but he does have his Min Pearl, which is probably the most important.
Yes. Now he can get on with the rest of the race here. Yeah.
All right, so then presumably we're gonna see GFE take a very similar route. You know, we only have one Dark World Dark World entry portal. He could potentially still have go up the mountain for, like, not only to get the old man saving quick point, but he can also, you know, see what's inside Spec Rock, what's on top of Spec Rock. That's another option, but most likely he's probably gonna follow Gem and go into the Dark World, and then make his loop, go to Hype Cave, find all his goodies, and then loop right back.
Yeah, I would agree. Just not enough materials, or sorry, items to like make it really worth going all the way up the mountain for. If we can just pick up that, you know, hammer or hookshot or something, he'd feel better about it. But with his current setup, he's like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, and I guess you know, for what it's worth, we do see Swamp Palace is a red crystal, no less. So we are gonna probably have to come by that hook shot sooner rather than, well, hopefully sooner rather than later. Certainly not gonna be in GT. We know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hello, GFE. We are going to. Looks like the front of Skull Woods. This area has been denoted, especially by creators of ALTTP ladders, that you should never skip this place because there's always value here.
That's right. Let's see what he finds here. If there's anything worthwhile.
A small key is certainly helpful. We haven't the real feels bad, I guess, is you find like only dungeon items and keys up front. That would be most unfortunate.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
But at least we have one item. That's always good. Okay, so unfortunately, I had actually not seen if Gem picked up anything useful in Thieves Town. It did seem like there was some money though involved. So it looks like at least, you know, by him delaying Zora, he at least found his Zora money in Thieves Town. However, as you said, Sabo, like I don't know what's gonna motivate Gem to go back there.
Yeah. I mean, he's got like a lot of stuff that he can clear that's a lot more efficient. So I think like a Catfish Zora double play is probably going to be off the table for just a little while. Things, you know, unless he really dries up on finding anything.
Okay, so Gem is on this blind fight. You know, people have said that so long as you follow the script, you're good to go. It's still a little dicey on 3 hearts. You know, but of course, you know, Gem is very capable. Look at that script. Nobody was worried whatsoever.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, so Gem picks up powder off of Blind. These are just really convenient items, by the way, to be having here in Village Valka, especially with that mirror, because now he can just go check powder.
Yeah, that is really convenient.
Because I think otherwise, if you find powder later, like again, you know, just because, like, you know, for example, Gem, you know, isolated Zora, powder looks pretty isolated, or Magic Bat does. So, did we end up seeing if GFE found the other item at Skullwoods by chance?
I don't know if he did or not.
Oh, dude, the GFE gave us an. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's excitement on both sides of the screen. So we would like those at the cape at some point in order to get those silvers off of Bumper Lush, but Gem found the Cape Samaria off of Magic Bat. Jeez.
Right, that's pretty nice. More items that we need to keep going in this seed. So Gem is doing a really good job of collecting all of that stuff. Yeah, whether or not we get silvers is going to depend on whether or not that cape shows up at some point.
Yeah, and I guess maybe this is like another thing of progressive bows versus non-progressive bows, right? Yeah, we see silvers as something separate. For progressive bows, I think one of the observations was that you couldn't really tell which of the bows was in logic. And so if you end up finding like the cape or something, and you end up snagging, you know, like silvers in this case off of Bumper Ledge, like it could potentially, you know, influence like what you do later, just because you don't know if that was like your logical bow, right? This was something else.
So Gem taking care of Graveyard Ledge here. This could actually get him all the way over to Catfish and Zora at this point. This would be like his one of his best opportunities to go for it if he is going to do it.
And I guess the other option maybe is to just run back over, check Bumper Ledge, and then potentially go up the mountain. GFE though, so I guess we're going to see if GFE decides to stay in Thief Town. He doesn't have the hammer, unfortunately, which is in Pipe Cave. But we know, I think we saw on Gem's side that he's not going to get punished if he continues.
Yeah, he won't, but it looks like he's death warping, so I think he's also
Okay.
thinking that, I want to have that hammer just in case. I don't want to be leaving anything behind.
Yeah, no, that was very, very reasonable. Especially when you don't have the mirror, right? The chance of you coming back here, basically, right, is pretty high, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of the mirror, thanks, Jem.
Just
I will also say,
cursing
yeah.
out the old man here.
Yeah.
Save you every darn time, buddy. Jeez.
Yeah, and you don't have 3 bombs for me that I can't even, like, carry? Okay, so then looks like, though, Jem is, so with, in this case, Mitz, and Mirror, and Hammer, he is ready to make his trip up, basically efficiently clear out, both Light World Light World Death Mountain and, Dark World Death Mountain as well.
Yeah, this is, seeing as Hookshot hasn't shown up, it's probably the most efficient way that we can clear out all the checks here with what Jem's got here. So it's a good chance to take care of the mountain here at this point.
Of course, dead rocks are our favorite wildlife in all of Hyrule, both light and dark. Alright, so it looks like, though, Hera, at least according to our tracker, is a crystal. Jem looks like potentially he's not going to go for it quite yet, but maybe he is interested in waiting for, or hopefully going to find that hookshot right here on the mountain, so he doesn't have to sit through potentially Hera basement.
Yeah, that would be a worthwhile skip at this point, if we can track down the hookshot pretty quick here.
Yeah, it looks like GFE, though, has picked up actual Hype Cave, from and gotten all of his goodies. So I think actually what we saw in this case, we saw Jem kind of like backtrack. Looks like actually GFE is going to do the exact same thing. Oh, getting bullied though a little bit by those moblins. Oh, okay. So as we're sitting through the Bombos cutscene, it does look like, though, potentially we don't need any more medallions. This is so it looks like maybe our only troublesome item at this point could actually just be that ice rod.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like
yeah, and of course, we would really not want to wish our runners anything that they have to, dig into a deep pendant dungeon for.
Yeah, the worst case scenario at this point, I guess, would be Ice Rod in Mire with a medallion that we don't have yet, or something silly like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of, looks like, some quality of life upgrade. Jem just found Tempered and Super Bunny. I think he's very comfortable now. The GFE, once he gets up there, I'm sure will feel a similar level of comfort. Tempered Sword certainly is going to be the maximum we can get, but I mean, you don't need anything else at this point.
Yeah, no, the difference between Tempered and Gold Sword for these runners isn't too big, so yeah, Tempered's really nice to have, though.
Mm-hmm. And actually, yeah, so, like, with the exception of, in this case, Jem clearing out, Thieves Town, which, of course, doesn't actually, matter what sword you have, like, he's gonna have that Tempered Sword. GFE, potentially, and Jem are going to have that Tempered Sword for, like, all of the bosses, which, it's just gonna be much more comfortable, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, have you ever tried, like, Fighter Sword Argus, Sabo?
Oh, yeah, no, not fun. Spin to win. Gross.
Yeah. Alright, so it looks like GFE's picked up his requisite bombos. And certainly hoping that, once he picks up the powder, he, immediately turns it in, because the Canis Maria is very useful. Of course, not only for, Turtle Rock, but also, with Ice Palace.
Picking up a Fire Rod in Paradox Key here for Gem, so one more item knocked off the list there. That'll get us into Skull Woods as well, so we're excited to see that pop up.
Yeah, so at this point, we're a little bit over 30 minutes in. Can we take some inventory as to what we still need for potential go mode here?
Yeah, so we're looking for Hookshot, we're looking for the bow, we are looking for the Ice Rod, We don't need the flute. That's kind of it.
Alright, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, so this potentially could be, well, I would like to say it could be quick. Of course, you know, I believe at least one runner has at least experienced one ice rod hunt so far, which, you know, could be a long time. Ooh, what is Jem doing here?
Oh boy, we're getting some hovers. Let's go. Oh, made it halfway.
Looks like we're gonna try again. I think like the biggest like accomplishment for runners in this cave is to not pick up that first pot and then actually be able to like bonk over. There's been lots of picking up pots and having to re-enter Hookshot Cave.
Okay, interesting pickup there with the Cane of Burna. That's our first like invincibility item. So that could get Gem to do a Spike Cave check a little earlier out of sequence to see if maybe something's hiding in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, Gem
Nice work.
just made it. Yeah. All right. So it looks like the best value that that we got out of Hookshot Cave is going to be that cane, or the other cane, I guess. I'm sure Gem is real thrilled to to know that Spike Cave is now open to him.
Yeah.
All right, GFE though, he's making his way through through Thieves Town. Certainly looking a lot more healthy than Gem was at this point, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, so now having not found the hookshot on the east side of the mountain there, Gem is going to suffer through the tile room here, the little coffee break.
Did you say it was a coffee break, Sabo? It looks like he's only drinking water. Or whatever is in that bottle.
Yeah, right. Water
maybe it's
break.
more water, yeah. Although maybe yeah, although you know this is you know, so Gem actually is in Germany, which I think when they started the race it was like 11 p.m. So maybe coffee would have been, you know, better than water if he needs to get through the rest of the scene. This by the way is also like something that's really cool about SGL. It is like you just have so much international talent, right? So I think GFE is, I want to say he's West Coast, but maybe not. Maybe he's just, I know he's somewhere in the States.
He is. He's Tennessee.
That is okay. So he's like Midwest, mid United States, Midwest-ish area. Yeah, and you know, and of course, Gem's in Germany. There is talent from like you know, other parts of Europe, like South America, from Brazil. We've got Australians. You know, we've got people in Korea. Like, I mean, the talent for this community is just amazing, right? And the fact that they all can get together and just like play and like compete, right? It's just so
yeah,
cool
it really is. It's worldwide, which is really cool to see, for sure.
All right, so this is okay. So looks like GFE took down Blind, 0 issues whatsoever, and he is making a very good play in order to pick up his King Samari here.
Yeah, this is pretty a crucial pickup here. It makes a lot of sense. You just finished Thieves Town, so almost every runner is probably going to do this check. So, but it's good that he didn't forget, decided to run somewhere else instead.
These guys both really just have their game faces on, so tense and they're so focused.
I feel like you have to be, right? You know, like
yeah.
It's such a really like you are so focused as you're playing, you know. So you're always thinking about your next steps and stuff like that. So there's really no time for chill. Especially, I find with boots mode, especially like, you know, because you're getting from point A to point B so quickly. If you're just kind of like slowly running across the world map, I usually have a little more time to like, you know, think about life or something, you know. But when boots are on, you're just like ah.
Oh yeah, I think actually that's one of the, I guess, like observations that people had is like, you know, like in Escape, especially when the boots start, is like Escape is, you know, pretty chill, right?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, and then but now it's like people are so right. So normally like try to go for like a sub 6 Escape without boots, right? You're pretty happy, and then now it's like people are trying to go for like the, you know, the 5 minute flat Escape 505, and you need a lot of focus in order to do that.
Yeah, totally.
All right, Spike Cave. All right, so okay, so that was either the replacement boots or the 4th sword. If for whatever reason GFE goes to Spike Cave first, I guess we can confirm whether it was not as a third sword or boots, but hopefully he'll just get his third one in Super Bunny and we'll never have to find out.
Right, yeah.
Ooh, okay. So speaking of another new check, GFE has decided to take the detour over to Catfish. As you said, Sabo, this is probably going to be an area that Gem is not going to come here for very like in the foreseeable future. So if something's here, it's going to be pretty big.
Yeah, definitely could help GFE kind of get back into this one for sure. I'll have to wait and see what the fish has got. Unlucky.
That is unfortunately. You know what? He could have used that 5 rupees much earlier when he was trying to get money for Zora. Catfish, how dare you hold on to what we need?
Yeah. So GFE buying a potion. I think he's heading over to Pod. Even though Pod is a pendant, I think he's setting up a potion just to do a right side skip in Pod if he decides to go in there, which I think he's maybe looking at.
No, I was actually wondering if what GFE was, trying to do with that potential potion buy. I mean, it certainly could be used for safety, but however, Sabo, I think you're right on the money here. He's probably going to go into Pennant Pod and trying to get himself maybe a couple more goodies.
Yeah, because we are still looking for things, and Gem's found enough stuff to keep himself busy doing like actual crystal dungeons for at least a little bit longer, perhaps. So GFE maybe just another kind of like meta game. Maybe I'm feeling behind now. I've got to go for a dungeon that I don't think my opponent's going to do for a while.
I mean, if something is here in Pendant Pod, which apparently, I don't know if it's just observation bias, but it always seems like there's something here, GFE could certainly get, good advantage.
Yeah, and given what we've seen between our two runners here, we're kind of starting to run a little low on locations. So, I mean, Swamp Palace is like half in logic without the hookshot right now. Ice Palace could be dipped. But, I mean, yeah, Pod is just sitting there, so who knows?
I think it'd actually be pretty interesting if GFE can actually find an ice rod, because that will actually save him a trip up to Toronto. So when he goes up the mountain, he can just clear out the whole dungeon.
Whoa, yeah, he could. Yeah. Interesting.
And then, of course, the ice rod is here, right? Like, I mean, unless Gem finds the bow somewhere soon, I don't know what's going to also motivate him to come over here to where GFE is. Mm-hmm. That was a lickety-split fast moth.
Yeah, no kidding. You blink and you miss it there. Holy.
Mm-hmm. There's probably a reason why like GFE and Gem were semi-finalists and finalists respectively in last year's tournament.
Yeah. Big plays, good execution. We're loving it.
So I guess, Sabo, so do you want to see Flute in this seed?
It's kind of hiding itself on us. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to show up, but like, I don't know. If it doesn't show up, then it really like locks out Meyer for our runners, and it keeps them away from there, which I think would be nice, because otherwise this seed could get kind of silly. So yeah, I mean, if it stays hidden, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, or maybe if we find the flute and it's like ether, right, or something, and we just never find ether, that would also be fine too.
Yep.
Right. So like probably one of the maybe I would say lesser good scenarios, especially for GFE right now, is in Pendant Pod. Maybe he finds the flute, and then Myers Quake, like. He might have a temptation to go in, and it might be feeling worse if nothing's there. But of course, if something's there, by the way, man, the seed is really unfortunate. But GFE's gonna have a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, it could really go. It could go off the rails. Still, we're still missing just enough pieces, especially with that ice rod still out there. That this one, it looks like it's been going pretty well, but who knows what could be in store?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's certainly been cases where I think I want to say it's like finals or something like that, where both runners end up going on like a 35-minute ice rod hunt or something like that. I mean, well, let's hope that doesn't happen here. But
Ooh, book. That's interesting.
That is. And in fact, actually, so that's actually another point. So we haven't checked any of the tablets, especially in Gem's case, right? Because he didn't have a book when he said it. But right now for Gem, either tablet is pretty isolated, right?
Yeah, tablet checks, Desert Palace access right now. Like, ugh. It's opening up like more weird stuff here for GFE, which is like, makes me nervous.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right though. Like that, I totally forgot about Desert. And Desert's a pendant.
Ugh, yuck.
At least it's the green pendant. That might be something. Okay, so yeah, so unfortunately, I hadn't seen actually what GFE is all picked up in pod, but it looks like at least there's a consensus that we found Quake and we found Ether potentially, or maybe
Ether was Gem in Ice Palace there.
Okay.
I think it was just Quake for GFE. There was a key for a key in Harmless Hellway, and I think an item maybe on Helma, but we can't get there because of no bow.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, GFE's options aren't looking super great. I mean, I think part of it is also he doesn't have a fire rod because he hasn't been up the mountain yet. So Skull Woods can't get back into and I mean you do have the cape for Ice Palace. To get through Bombos though, I don't know. I mean it's logically accessible, right? It's just maybe not be your first choice.
Yeah. All right, so GFE is like hard committing to not going up a mountain at this point. He's stepping into Ice Palace, which we're seeing Gem take care of Cold Stare right now. Okay, I mean, if you're making a call like that, I think you got to go all the way on it. So if he's saying I'm not doing mountain, he's just not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I think, very reasonable for GFE. Meanwhile, Gem, like, using that Bombos medallion to save himself a couple fire rod shots, I mean, what a cold steer kill. Like, that was, that was ridiculously fast. Yeah, so meanwhile though, so GFE, he is gonna have to basically at least take care. Oh my gosh, dude, GFE using that quick medallion. I'm so, look at that. That is so nice. He timed it so well where all the Pengators are on the ground.
You don't see that very often. Quake strats here in Ice Palace. So
I think that is so cool for GFE. And yeah, and the fact that, so Quake, I don't know, so okay, this is most likely developer intended, right? But Quake can only affect enemies that are on the floor or ground. So if actually any of those Pengators like jumped and GFE activated it, like they would have still stayed alive. So the fact that GFE like timed it correctly, I think was very impressive.
Even more, yeah, just the style points there for sure. All right, so now Gem's actually got some like tough decisions to make. He's got like dungeons he can half clear. He's got some pendants on the map here. Like he's starting to run a little low on places to check for stuff. So kind of some weird spotty checks, I think, from him for the next little while.
Yeah. So he's on the mountain. Does this mean that he is? I mean, he doesn't have the book. And so does this mean maybe a Turtle Rock play?
Could be, because you can still, he's got the fire rod now, so yeah, you can get in there pretty deep. He's maybe thinking that at this point he hasn't seen Ice Rod show up, so maybe it's just kicking it in the back of TR.
Yeah, because we've never found the Ice Rod in Turtle Rock before, right?
No, never. That never happened.
Yeah, and actually, I guess good on Gem for, well, remembering that he doesn't have a hookshot because, by this point, when you're going to Turtle Rock, you have, like, everything, right, usually. it's certainly not uncommon to see runners basically make it all the way over to like that that part you need a hook shot over to like East F Mountain, and they'd be like, oh wait, I can't get over here.
So easy to make that mistake. You assume that you've got that, especially if you're going for TR. If you've got that on the mind, you're thinking that it's easy. Let's just go across the bridge there. Nope.
Now, do you think Jem's gonna remember to go the other way because he doesn't have hook shot?
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
Oh my gosh! Okay, this is why Jem is a finalist from last year. He remembers. Okay, if GFE like doesn't remember this, or you know, or assuming he doesn't have the hook shot, then you know there might be some heckling. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Totally. That's fair. Right, nice keys there. Cool, cool.
Yeah, and I guess you know, so the fact that Jem is here and maybe hoping that he finds something, right? I mean, if he finds Ice Rod, that would be I mean, certainly most convenient for him because he can clear out toward a rock. If he finds other progression here, is also gonna potentially help him here, right? Hook shot, bow, that would certainly also not uncommon items.
Yeah, bow being in here for sure. I've seen that a number of times, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's
All right, so GFE looks like he's dropped down to Cold Stare. Unfortunately, oh man, just you know, Sabo, he hasn't been up the mountain yet, so he doesn't have that nice tempered sword that Jem did. But he's doing a really good job so far using hammer. Well, all right. So Jem just found his entry into the back of Swamp Palace. In this case, he just found the hook shot from Chomps.
Okay, that's a great spot for hook shot. Awesome.
Oh
Love
yeah. I guess at least his third trip up the mountain won't be as painful. Really well done, GFE. He survived. And he has no safeties, right? Either. Like I think it would have been one hit KO for him if he got hit by Puff.
I think he did pick up another red
potion. Did. Oh yeah.
But he menued for just a second. He was thinking about it, and he thought, okay, maybe one more swing. Let's see what happens, and it worked out okay.
Yeah, one of probably. I mean, you might be able to like split hairs as to like which boss feels worse to die to, but Cold Stare is definitely up there.
Yeah, Cold Stare really hurts to die. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so that's crystal number 2 down for GFE. You think this is going to be a mountain trip? Yes.
I feel like he's got to do it at this point. I mean, unless he. Yeah, I mean, he's going for it right now. But unless he was thinking like desert is the play, this is the only thing for him to do really at this point.
I guess so. The good news is that so once GFE goes up the mountain and does all of his stuff, it looks like actually we haven't found the Ice Rod yet. But assuming he comes back down with the Fire Rod, he's going to be able to clear out Skull Woods, and then we're actually going to get a pedestal check potentially because he has that book. If something is on pedestal, though, I mean that it's gonna like GFE, I would say has a pretty big knowledge advantage. At first, I thought Jem was just like skipping the big chest, and I was like, wait, like, can you do that? It just turns out in this case he didn't quite put on. I guess he didn't quite have his lock picking skills open. Okay, so Sabo, I do have a question for you. If you know about more of GFE's tendencies or abilities, so if he's not going to be able to get that hook shot. Do you know how far he can make it into hook shot cave?
You know, I don't know what his hover status is. We have been teammates for 4 seasons in the league.
Awesome.
I'm actually
not no!
I think the guy can kind of do it, but I don't know if it's like a go-to move for him.
Okay, I certainly didn't mean to put you on the spot. You know what? Pretend he's P-Train, and then I think P-Train has even some sort of like tutorial or something, right, to help you get through hook shot cave, or certainly through Moldon too.
And I'm glad that my other teammate in the league is here in the chat, P-Train, who is confirming what I thought.
All right, you know, you're right. You know, Sabo, we never doubted you at all.
Of course, right?
Okay, so Gem looks like, by the fact that he save and quit out of Laser Bridge, means that unfortunately the Ice Rod is still hiding somewhere. But I guess the good news is that at least the Turtle Dip was required. Turtle Rock Dip was required because we got the hook shot.
Yeah, yeah. Unless this seed is really mean and is throwing some kind of curveball, I think what it's probably saying is that Ice Rod is just in the back of Swamp. You know, it's probably good for Gem at this point. But, you know, stranger things have happened, and GFE does have a couple items that could swing things back his way to get him into weird dungeons and stuff that we don't want to think about.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't actually seen the flute, but I think the biggest, I guess, like out for GFE right now is that book. So unfortunately, we didn't get anything off of either tablet, but as you said, Sabo, we can get into desert, and no one's been over there for the past like hour. So.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty crucial dungeon here for Gem. I do think that we probably are just going to keep finding the right stuff. Yeah, if for some reason there's like nothing in here, he's gonna have a tough time figuring out what to do next.
Yeah, and I guess like another question is, I mean, we are still, I guess, still currently 3 items from build mode, right? Ice Rod Bow and 2 items, Ice Rod and Bow. You know, another question is going to be the infamous, left side swamp question. You know, like what do you do? Do you go back for 2 items? Do you go back for 1 item? You might go back for all 3, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Gem's gonna have a tough decision to make with the left side, I think, because he's still got all of Pod if he wanted to check that. So he might weigh his options. If it's like 1 item, he might skip out. I don't know. I don't know what Gem does usually, but it is at least a question that he's gonna have to ask.
Yeah. So okay. So I think historically, and take this with a grain of salt, right? Because this, historically is not in high stakes tournament races, for like ladder or something, right? 3 items is pretty good. 2 items is kind of like, questionable, maybe, right? And then 1 item is usually, maybe I'll come back, right? But again, this is SGL, lots on the line, and he's playing GFE, who is in semifinals from last year. I mean, it's nobody at this point can say like, you know what, I'm just going to do everything and just let my execution carry me.
All right, so we're going into the back first, so we'll have to wait and see if we re-dip for left side. Yeah, back first. I like the play for the density. You're kind of thinking you're only looking for 1, 2 items. You might be able to just track them out real quick in the back here.
I don't know if you caught that little grimace on Gem's side when he found the flute. He's like,
yeah, I think we all did.
Oh man, so all right, so Gem has a chance, right? For better or for worse, or whatever it is. So if Meyer is quick locked, then Gem can't get in. But if Meyer is either locked, Gem has that option. I mean, GFE right now, has all 3 battalions, so it's not going to be a question for him. But I mean, oh my god, there's like the big unknown here is like the Meyer Desert area, like and where in this case our last 2 items are.
Yeah, definitely. That flute makes me really nervous. It opens up just a little bit too much of the map here that we just were hoping to kind of avoid.
Oh, all right. So Gem, going for the 0 cycle, looks like Argus just kind of charged at him a little too quickly. All right, but really nice wrap up. We found the other green rupee in the pool, if that's any consolation.
Right on. Okay, GFE went. He went.
Okay. These are top tier execution gamers. Like, I mean, didn't forget a single thing. Although I guess I didn't realize this until now. So GFE has the blue mail, but Gino is like red.
It's very confusing, yeah.
Maybe, you know what, GFE just wants to match his sprite because, looks like he's got like a really nice bright red shirt as well on him. Okay, so I unfortunately was not counting items, but it looks like Gem is going to opt to not go back into Swamp. So I'm going to assume that there are like at most 2 in there. But Gem also, I think, at least reminding me that that does also open up Pyramid Fairy. Gonna go for a nice bomb dupe here. Oh, that lag! Alright, okay. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, a bit of a tough call to leave left side. We also left the big key chest, or sorry, the big chest. What is it? It's a big chest.
It's a big chest. Yeah.
Big chest. Right in the middle there.
It's the big one with the thing inside. All right, so this is Gem's second chance to get something good. We'll take we'll take it. Yeah, great mushroom. Oh wait, did GFE just leave after hook shots?
Ooh, I think so.
Yeah, this is gonna be good for GFE, especially because we've seen that the rest of Turtle Rock didn't have anything, so it's gonna be a nice time save.
Yeah, he's definitely looking at that like, okay, this was the thing that I was supposed to dig out of this dungeon. Now let's just get on with the rest of the seed. That's nice to see that, because yeah, that dive into TR could have put him behind even more. So he's gaining a little bit of ground back.
Alright, looks like though Gem, because he picked up the mushroom from Pyramid Fairy, is going to combine this with Catfish, so at least, yeah, so this part of the world is over for him. GFE, reminding, at least me, again, that we still have Hera to do. After all that stuff in the mountain, how often do you do Turtle Rock before Hera at this point?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the fact that GFE has the hookshot, which was what Gem was looking for, right? He managed to get up to Hera just a little bit faster, and I think Moldorm had the last item, so it's gonna be a nice time save again for GFE, because he doesn't go through the basement.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, nice quick dungeon here for him.
Yeah, so so GFE's definitely gaining a lot of time, ground back here.
Alrighty, Gem going to activate his flute. Probably going to head right over to the Mire area. It's a fresh new part of the map we haven't been able to access yet. So a couple of checks over there. We'll see what he can find for us.
Yeah, and of course, GFE takes down Moldorm, claims his next crystal. Alright, and oh, actually, it looks like, yeah, that's with the hookshot now in logic. GFE's gonna go do Spike Cave.
Bombos access for Misery Mire. Alright.
Okay, so then at least like on a cursory level, we don't need that quick medallion, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, GFE like showed us like extra swag by killing all those pen gators, which of course I think is very necessary for viewers, maybe not from his perspective.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing is, I guess, with like each thing we're finding out about this seed here, it's making GFE's pod dip less valuable. So medallion not needed, book, it's like it's hinging on Bombo's tablet at this point. Otherwise, it's a total bust.
Oh man, that's just. I mean, it's like the book is just a curse, right? It's like you don't want to open this one. Somebody's just never want to find it. All right, so but at least GFE though, with that hookshot, he's going to be able to clear out Swamp. We are going to be able to see another diversion point, right? Because Gem skipped left side, and then we're going to be able to get that Bombo's tablet check as well.
Interesting to go for Swamp Palace before the Bombos check, but as long as he gets it on the way out, I guess.
Yeah. Because I guess like as you said, Savo, like right now, like it seems like the book is kind of like one of his outs, and if you want to just try and like capitalize on that, that certainly could work in GFE's favor. So have we found anything good in Desert so far? I know we found the big key.
I think so.
Okay, so we found one item. Did we happen to find that one? Nope.
Gem is going to finish out the dungeon, though. I mean, I guess the second item is on Landmo, plus we've got green pendants, so maybe it's worth it.
Yeah, and so Gem also has not been over to the Pod Eastern area for I guess an hour and counting at this point, right? So he's gonna basically, you know, double, triple up on this visit, and you turn the green pendant, and then he's gonna hope, I guess, that the bow is over there. But you know, at least what we've seen on GFE side, that area basically looks like it's just going to be. You would just want to be there in go mode.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so alright, we got 6 fire rod shots left to go. Hopefully this is gonna be relatively straightforward fight here for Gem. I misspoke and I said only 5 because I forgot that he used extra, but that was a ridiculously good fight for Gem. Okay, so at least currently GFE is going to go to the back first. So we did find the big key in the flooded chest. Like, is that something you go back for immediately? Out of curiosity, Sabo?
Like I probably would. I don't know. Yeah, I probably would go back if I got it right here. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He hates it. He hates
it. Poor GFE, man. I do think GFE wins over Gem for the facial expressions, but fine. Oh, well, I guess like the bow at least is sitting here in Checkerboard Cave. So Gem, I think is. Well, he's certainly happy to see it. We're still missing that ice rod. Where is that ice rod?
Yeah, I think we've got items left on the bosses over in the Eastern Pod area. So those are the only things that we haven't seen. If they're not on those guys, then Meyer is a possibility at this point. So we'll see what happens.
Oh man, we don't have to go into like dip a pendant dungeon. We don't have to go dip a third pendant dungeon, right?
Well, we might have to.
Oh. Okay, so I guess the big question is going to be for GFE. I want to say that there were 2 items left in Swamp. So does he go back? What do you think? What do you think, Sabo?
He's thinking hard about this too. I mean, I think he might cave and go for it. Oh, he's going for it!
All right, okay. So, you know, Left Side Swamp, historically, at least in the finals for Gem, has not been his friend. There's the infamous Ether Medallion required on Left Side Swamp, which Gem did not get over Relkin. So, you know, if this is going to be a history repeat, maybe that'll teach Gem to go back into Left Side. I don't know.
That would be really unfortunate to be snake bitten by the same spot, like time and again. Oh, I mean, I hope not, because that feels so, you know, cursed for a poor runner. But let's see.
All right, so that's one item. All right, so GFE was thinking about it. Sometimes it's really tempting, right? He needs a key, right? You know, it's like, do you go back here potentially for one more item? And it's like, this is like the meat of Left Side Swamp, right? This is where you spend the most time.
Man, yeah, what a seed. It seemed like it was going pretty well, pretty straightforward. You know, people were finding things. Man, this ice rod hunt is pretty tense. Like, there's only a couple spots left for it to be, and I think, you know, at this point, Gem does have the edge with dungeon clears. But it's still, who knows where this thing is? And if it's left side, that's a bad spot for it to be for Gem.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, it's like I mean, do you go to, like, so if you're Gem, and you find, well, sorry, for GFE you find Ice Rod here, you're very, very happy. But like, if you're Gem still looking for that thing, you've already left Swamp. You have all of Pendant Pod, by the way, and you're right here. Like, that's definitely gonna be, you're just gonna give all that time back to GFE, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So we're coming up to one of two chests here. That could be an out. Of course, JP also has Bombo's tablet. That can also help him out big time. That is unfortunately the last item. I guess for what it's worth, he did pick correctly. Left side versus right. At least he doesn't have to go to the right side. But that is unfortunate that left side swap is not going to. I guess is not going to punish Gem today.
Yep. All right, so last good check here for GFE is the Bombo's tablet. Let's see if it's got anything. Otherwise, the book is a complete bust.
Oh no! So, those of you who might be slightly confused, that is actually our half magic replacement. The half magic is no longer in the pool, but you do get a small 1/8 small magic decanter refill as consolation. But certainly not something that GFE wanted to see.
Wow, that is unfortunate. I was also confused as to what was dropped in there. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, Synac decided to add a couple extra things to the pool, but man, like, Sambo, that book, oh my gosh, wow.
Oh, okay, so the seed was just that easy.
Yeah, why did we even need to go into desert? I mean, obviously, you go into desert because you're there, right? But, I mean, like, I guess if you knew, 0 pendant dungeons required, I think, right? Nothing in pod.
Yeah.
Nothing in Mire, because we didn't even go in, and then nothing in pod. Yeah.
Man, that is wild. Like,
wow.
what a debate. Like, this, it seemed like something was going to be somewhere silly, and it was just linear all along.
Yeah, it's linear that you thought was like curvy and snaky, and yet, here we go. I mean, but I guess maybe like the hardest part was, I guess going to check it perfect. But I mean, like, I don't know. Like, no, you're right. It's just a pretty linear seed, right?
Surprisingly so. Like, it really felt like we were in for something kind of crazy, and it was just like, no, here's all the things. Just do them in the right order, and you're good. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. All right. So in this case, unfortunately, for Gem is. Wow, man, that boomerang. I was gonna say, right, so unfortunately, Gem on all the way to Laser Bridge, it was basically not possible for him to save the portal, just because he'd gone through so many other things, to the small palace. But so he's gonna do all of Turn Rock again, but at least he's gonna be slightly faster this time around. Alright, though, meanwhile, though, GFE, with his Fire Rod, is in the back of Skull Woods. A good play on him to either intentionally or unintentionally lose his sword beams. Sword beams make Moth very difficult. It's like downgrading your sword.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So yeah, good on him for thinking about that.
Oh man, the Moth...
He's so rude. Get off the wall there, dude. Come on.
Oh my gosh. You know, the fight actually looks like it started so well, and then, like, he's just decided to, I don't know, like, go berserk. Okay, at least GFE, didn't, I mean, he took down Moth, he didn't have to die or anything. I mean, jeez, like, yeah, that's rude Moth. Yeah, do you think the cape is gonna show up at some point? Because we did see those silvers, right, on Bumper Ledge. But maybe this is gonna be one of those temptations that were just just slightly beyond our reach.
I bet you it's in GT basement or something. Silly.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah, we might not even see it. Or it could be in Mire, I suppose. That's the one thing that we aren't going to see in this seed, unless GFE gives us a little bit of a showcase while Gem's finishing up.
Yeah, no, that's certainly a good point. Alright, though it looks like the GFE is, I mean, with that book, he's at least going to get some knowledge on what's on the pedestal, so I guess I'm kind of curious to see what this is.
Boring.
I think for what it's worth, Sabo, was that the Uncle Bomb text? Because I think triple bombs is like I make things go triple boom or something like that, and I was like, this one was like I make things go explode like many times. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that's any consolation, by the way, to GFE.
Oh, no.
Also good on GFE, by the way, he doesn't have to go check the medallion because maybe one, he doesn't want to know, but also two, he has all three of them, so.
Yeah. Ooh, good on him for going right over.
Yeah, heck yeah! This is going to be great for GFE because he's going to be able to pick up his bow and he's going to beeline it over to Eastern.
You would think so. He wouldn't want to have anything to do with any of these pendants at this point.
Yeah. Alright, so speaking of that cape, Savo, we just found it on Trinex. So do you think Jem's going to go back to Upper Ledge and get Silvers?
I mean, does he know serverless Ganon? He's going to have to go back,
you're right. You're right. You know, I'm trying to think back to his previous fights, especially from last year's like finals and semis. You know, like he had silvers. Like I don't know. I think he's gonna have to spend the time to go back down there.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, actually, with that, that was Gem's 7th crystal. If those of you in chat feel like putting in some numbers, you can guess where that GT big key is, between 1 through 22. I believe historically, Gem chooses to go over to Hope Room, and if there's a small key, he continues to compass. If not, we're just gonna go straight left.
Interesting.
I guess, do you know what GFE likes to do, tends to do? Like, is this gonna be a divergence?
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of partial to like dark magician-y type stuff, starting over to Stealth Oaths and then going right. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's really his go-to or not.
Yeah, and I think it also, it probably also just depends on the situation, right? Like, if you're behind, yeah, and if you especially know your opponent's tendencies, like, do you want to mirror them? Do you want more divergence?
Yeah.
Okay, so right, so Gem made his way to Hope Room. I think it was 2 non-keys, so we're gonna go over to Salphos. Gem, unfortunately, showing us one of the reasons probably that GFE, among others, might prefer Stalfos Room first is that you don't have to deal with these pesky Stalfos.
So yeah, like you thought, he's going full left here. Hoping to come across the key. This is, this is a route that I prefer as well, to go full left. Sometimes I'll do the Hope Room first, but I can respect a full left play for sure.
Okay. Oh, okay. So actually, so Salo, like you just go left, as in like Stalfos Room, you just go straight south from that.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I try not to go to the right side. I don't know. I feel like I'm not a fan, but yeah. So I appreciate the full left play here.
There's never really anything on the right side. There's nothing good over there, right? They're like gyptos and like shooters and bar. We don't want
it's no fun.
Alright, so I think GFE, he did do a little smirk after picking up the Ice Rod off of Armos, so he knows that he could just go straight to Turtle Rock now. And I think, he also probably might be feeling a little bit better about the fact that he dipped out of Turtle Rock early, right? Oh no! Stupid dead rocks.
They're just like the worst. The biggest pest in all of Hyrule.
Yeah. GFE showed us so much talent with that quick medallion. Like, I feel like he could have just busted it out right there and then, and just, taking some revenge here on these dead rocks.
So Gem has found his big key, found it in the rando room there. I'm not sure what the number was, but he found it, and he's on his way up the tower, which is great for him. He's feeling good, I'm sure. Well, maybe, the way this seed has gone and the way how it became so linear, I wonder if he's a little bit concerned heading up the tower here that his opponent might be right on his tail or something.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, so, and he, I guess, like, for what it's worth, you know, we actually saw GFE completely skip out on Desert, right? He just went straight over Checkerboard Cave. And, you know, Gem, like, you know, he basically cleared all of Desert, right? So, you know, especially if he thought that, you know, they followed similar paths, that extra desert dip could weigh down, like, on his mind.
And if we're looking at, you know, how this has all played out, really it's that pod dip that is the only thing that really cost GFE. It would have been a really close race, I think, if he had just been able to stay away from that dungeon just a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's looks like GFE was actually trying to go for that Chomp dash. Unfortunately, Chomps are pretty good gatekeepers, if you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, they're vicious.
Yeah, but actually, I think you're right, Sabo, because, you know, like, so the biggest thing that we got out of there was, of course, that book, and, like, geez, it, like, led GFE on, like, every single, like, possible bad, like, it's like, it gave him all the bad decisions, and, like, basically, like, right there, right? So we also should not, like, so Gem basically just, like, tore through this gauntlet. Just another, like, incredibly impressive execution show. And of course, even the best runners still get frame ruled by those guards. You see Gem obviously showing some displeasure.
That's a really frustrating one to get hit by, because you feel like you know how to line it up every time, yet somehow those guards sometimes get in your way, and it's annoying.
Is Gem gonna be able to beat the timer? These torches, like, stay lit up? Okay. It's always one of those, like, you bonk once and the torches run, and then you're just like, do I have enough time? You just really hope you have enough time to get through. Oh, that's right, but Gem does have a green potion. Maybe he prefers to save it just in case for, you know, for Ganon, but I guess that was at least an out for him. I think that was, like, the hardest room that Gem had to do in all of GT, was to, like, pick up the fairy and pick up the magic before getting out to face Moldor.
Yeah.
Oh, no man. Alright, yeah, so of course at this point, actually, how many hearts does Gem have? 9?
Yes, looks like 9.
It's hard to count, unfortunately.
I know, right?
But he also has blue mail, so I think relatively speaking, you know, like, so sometimes I think, you know, runners maybe we'll open a couple more chests, maybe potentially for that, like, last heart, you know, refill or something like that. But yeah, at this point, you know, Gem's got, well, he knows where, he might not know where silvers is, or he knows he's not getting them, and then he has temper, so probably just gonna be happy with what he has.
Ooh, nice lineup there for that one there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he ended up missing, like, one of the cycles, or at least didn't quite get it. So this was good recovery. Meanwhile, though, GFE is on Trinex. Looks like he's gonna just wait it out and he's gonna do some front door strats. Certainly very reasonable. Oh man, you just don't want to see that ice though on the floor. Ugh.
Yeah, somehow that head just usually gets that out just in the nick of time, and it's annoying when you can't quite get to him.
Okay, so alright, so Gem has dropped down to Ganon. We're gonna see, by the way, Sabo, if you were correct or not, if Gem can do Silverless phase 4. But I guess we gotta get through phase 4 1 2. Looks like a good lineup so far. On pace to get the 1-1.
Yeah, really clean Ganon so far. Nice to see.
Oh, look, he finally stopped moving. It's like maybe Ganon took coffee as well, and he's just like not so jitter that he has to, like, you know, move around. Alright, GFE though, momentarily opening up GT, so he's gonna go hunt for his GT Vicky. Wow, Ganon. I was just waiting for that like left side to collapse, and it's like, it just hasn't done anything. Alright, looks like the gem just wants to be safe.
Oh, so what?
You're right!
He doesn't know. He doesn't know it.
You're right, he doesn't know! Okay, he just dropped down and go get silvers immediately. I was like, okay. Oh, actually, so it looks like GFE's gonna go right side first. Or left side first, man. This is mine left and right. Yeah, so Gem is using the lamp to make sure that he guarantees himself the torch clutch. He's gonna try and land as many triples as he can.
Looking pretty slow and steady, just trying to get across the finish line at this point. So nice, taking it easy here.
No, actually, like, so do you think Gem has like the race room open? Are you watching this?
You're
like...
always watching it, yeah.
Oh,
in the last
man.
few seconds, you've got to be like, and this is the worst time right here, when you're waiting, that you don't want to get to, pipped at the door line there.
Oh man, but we know from watching GFE that Gem's not gonna get sniped. Get your G's out in chat for Gem. Gonna take first place as he walks across this bridge in the round of 62, taking down a pretty hard opponent. Gem, look how happy he is. He is quite thrilled in order to be the victor of this match. And now he is gonna move on to round 32, facing. In the winners bracket, pretty well-known opponent. It's gonna be Blaine. So hopefully they're gonna get that match scheduled as soon as possible.
Yeah, that one should be a banger for sure.
Yeah, actually, fun fact, Savo. In the very first qualifier, as a qualifier number 1, Gem actually it was restreamed to feature Blaine versus Gem on restream. And Blaine actually took the victor. He got a faster time than Gem, so maybe this is gonna be a good rematch.
Yeah, that'd be exciting to see.
GFE showing us a vanilla compass.
So we were told ahead of time that we don't think that Gem is going to pop in for an interview. It's a bit late over there in Germany, so we might not see him. We might see GFE though, so we'll wait and see if we can get him in for an interview once he wraps up here. We'll just kind of follow along, but yeah, GG's to Gem.
Yeah, GG's.
You see him moving on there. Yeah.
Looks like Gem is also in chat, confirming that there's not going to be an interview. However, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to field a few questions if you have any for him. Stealth posts are not playing nicely with GFE. It's like, no, I want to hit the switch. Do you happen to remember where the GT Big Key was? Was it in Rando Room? Was that?
It's Rando Room.
Okay,
so they'll be picking up pretty soon.
Okay, cool. So this should be relatively fast, and then GFE can make his way up the tower. Now I guess, Salvo, for the fact that he did not go down and pick up his silvers on Bumper Ledge means that you think that he's capable of doing silverless?
I do think so.
Okay.
I think he'll be okay. Again, like as I've revealed, I don't know that much about my teammate in the league.
who you've been in 4 years, huh?
Yes, I think he can actually do the silverless. Pretty rare thing, but I think he's got it.
All right. So actually, GFE is quite busy, right? Because he's doing SGL, and of course, his tournament life. He's just going to be moved down to losers bracket, because that's going to be his redemption arc. But he's in SGL. He's also doing league, so he's quite busy with Rando.
Yeah, it kind of sucks us in, Like there's always a lot of activity in the community, lots of different cool things going on, and we can't help ourselves. we want to be involved in it, and so yeah, I'm not surprised that GFE's got a lot of rando on his plate right now.
No, but yeah, I mean, but obviously, like he's going really strong, right? Certainly no signs of stopping down.
I think he's collecting like all the points for our team right now.
Oh,
we're struggling, and GFE is coming in clutch. So
actually, did he end up playing cross keys earlier for your team, or was that you?
Yeah, it was last night, and he got us a W.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so maybe SGL next year, based on GFE's recommendations, going to be cross keys. Is that
Maybe could be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think later on tonight, actually, your other teammate, P-Train, I think he's in chat somewhere. He's gonna play. He's also hopefully gonna pull another win for your team. Gonna be hopefully gonna take down Frozen Leftovers, I think. For 2-0 this week.
Yeah, we could really use the points. So yeah, we're hoping to see that play out. I think P-Train, he's a solid runner. We put all of our faith in him, so we're hoping for a nice 2-0 for this week. But tough competition. Our division has just been so stacked. Every week it's a challenge, and so lots of good runners though. So we'll have to see.
Savo, I'm sensing a trend here between SGL and Invitational League. Like, are there any free wins out there for us?
You know what? At this point, there's very few. People come, people come into this game, right off the bat almost. Even like newer runners have been practicing off stream or something, and they show up on the scene, and you're like, who is this person? And they're excellent, and it's cool to see. But I mean, old dinosaurs like me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm falling behind here.
No, you are not a dinosaur. I believe you also have a couple titles to your name. I believe you took down. There was actually, I think, was it in the main tournament? I can't remember, but you took down one of the Titans as you got an upset title, right? The Andy Slayer took him out 2-0. Yeah, like
yes, I've been definitely hanging on to that one for forever. Yeah, remember that time that I beat Andy?
No, I mean, but it's always so cool. And in fact, right, like even showcased in this tournament and league, like lots of there have been lots of upsets. This is rando, right? But the skill average, not only the average, right, of the whole community, also the ceiling has just gone like through the roof. Right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Because I mean, like everyone was just trying to like figure this thing out at first, and but now it's pretty optimized, and people kind of know what's up when they sign up to be involved in this stuff. So you see just so many new faces, clashing with a lot of the kind of older folks in the community, and it's great to see just that there's that continued support for the randomizer here.
Yeah, so it's like GFE he also tore through that gauntlet. As we were talking basically about some of the other things that have been going on at GFE's rando life. So he's gonna hopefully make his way through to Agatsu, and then you know what, we're gonna see how right you are, Sabo. We're gonna see if your prediction that he could do silverless is gonna come true.
I hope I'm right.
Is there gonna be like a team meeting after this if he can't do it?
I'd be reprimanded for sure. I'd be suspended. Yeah, for just not caring enough. Yeah, for sure. I'd feel it.
And also, by the way, like the fact that like we have 128 people who qualify for SGL, and like. Talent pool here is just I think maybe there was like at least in the first round some of the variations for skill cap was certainly higher, but round of 64 is like you can't avoid like a name that you're just scared to face, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone at this point is pretty well known, and if they're not, maybe they're maybe a little bit of a lesser known, someone knows about them. And knows that they can deliver as well, because they got to top 64, they've got to be good. So yeah, everyone's a threat.
Yeah, I mean, so these guys, so they went through at least 5 qualifiers, pretty big races, and then in order to cut down to the top 128. So certainly they've just the fact that you even made it to brackets is quite the testament.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So this looks like a good start for GFE. Very on pace to get the 1-1 as well. All right, taking no chances though with that cape. So I think he's at least through the most dangerous part of the fight.
Yep, looks like it. Yeah, and as we've seen through GFE's execution of the Ganon's Tower and then at the early stages of this fight, if only he had been a little bit closer to Gem, we would have had like a really like thrilling kind of showdown at the end here, because pretty level footing when it came down to just the execution of the seed here. But like we were saying, it's that pod dip that we think cost GFE the most here.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, execution-wise, both GFE and Gem have just, put on quite the show for us, right? Sometimes I want to say it's almost like just a little bit harder to appreciate, only because you're putting like two top players against each other, right? So the fact that they're even in sync, right, just goes to show you like where the skill ceiling is. But yeah, it's something really to be appreciated. This is at least the Well, okay, so at least GFE is proving you right. He can spin to win.
Right. Oh, yes.
All right, no team meeting. All right,
nope.
so. All right, with this, GFE is ready to cross this finish line. Get your GGs out in chat. This was actually a really good race. And as you said, Sabo, it looks like it was just the pot dip and that book that led him astray. Reading is not fundamental. Do not follow and read books. I think that's the lesson.
That sounds like great advice.
All right, get your GGs out in chat. Of course, for GFE, it looks like we are going to be able to chat with him for a bit. Just gotta get him in here.
And we are joined by GFE. GG's, buddy.
GG's, GFE.
Hey, GG's to Jim also. I know he can't interview right now, but I mean, you come into a match with Jim, it's kind of what you expect, especially when things go like they did.
Yeah, we felt like you were metagaming a little bit because obviously, we know Gem is Gem. So, were there what points could you point to where you were like, okay, I'm going to make a play here that I don't think that was maybe a metagame of some sort?
I mean, I did make several, I'll be honest. Eastern early was a little bit of a play, but I mean, I had a secondary reason for that. I was trying to get closer to Zora money before I did flipper checks, and as you saw, that didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
That was frustrating, dude, for sure.
Like, for real, when I was leaving Cat toward the library, I nearly stopped to do the bonk tree for that 5 rupees, because I was like, who knows, maybe I need it for Zora. But then I was like, that's stupid. Why would I need that 5 rupees? But anyway, just 3.
I was gonna rub a little bit more salt in that wound, GFE, if it's okay. But actually, so we saw Gem earlier go to King's Tomb early. He picked up the boomerang, and the stun prize was 1 rupee.
That's where it was. Where it was. We were talking after the race. He said that green rupee was a stun prize, and I was like, I didn't have a boomerang, and I was trying to think because I remembered finding it like right before Dark World. But I could not remember where. Obviously, the pod play was a metagame. To be honest, if TR's Quake or anything's on tablets, this is a different race.
And it held that way for so long. We really thought that it could swing the game. If Meyer had been Quake and Ice Rod was in there, like and anything like any of those, one of those 2 items just coming in and helping you out a little bit would have been pretty big.
Yeah, like, when I found Ice Rod, like, I'm sure you probably saw, I was relieved. It felt really good, simply because I left TR. So, I mean, that felt good. But about a minute later, my brain started kicking in. I was like, the way this seed routes, Jim probably hasn't touched pod. He may have even skipped left side swamp, which I heard afterwards he did, and so I didn't feel good anyway. I felt good at first because I left TR with the hook, and that was the right call. But then I was like, "There's no way he's touched pod."
Yeah, the dip into TR and then out of TR once you collected that hook shot was nice. It definitely caught you back up a little bit there, but wasn't enough to quite make the difference.
I mean, at least it was close as it was. Jim could have been a lot closer if he didn't do desert firsts. I mean, it could have been a lot faster if he didn't do desert first.
Yeah, the seed was surprisingly linear. You know, like a lot of the items were not, you know, super deep in pendants or anything like that. But you know, it just gave us a lot of fake outs where there were opportunities for things to be in weird places, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, with my route, I was kind of putting off mountain, waiting on maybe one rod or another medallion. And so when I ended up finding Quake in Pod and Ether in Ice right before I went up the mountain, I was like, okay, I'm guaranteed access into TR. Jim probably, he might have got Bombos before he went up the mountain, but that's probably it. And so when I got to TR and saw it was Bombos, I was like, well, that's the worst case scenario for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Jim said that he actually forgot TR the first time, so that was interesting. So I guess he had Ether and Bombos by the time he went back up.
Yeah, that's right. He did forget that. It was funny because it was pointed out in chat that he opened it up and then he just took off. So yeah, that could have that was a bit of a misfire there. But how are you to know that a silly hookshot was hanging out in there?
Yeah, how would you? By the way, you also you definitely saved some time over Jam. By basically once you found the hookshot, you just left. I think Jam went all the way to Labor Bridge before getting out.
Yeah, that makes sense to go. Originally, I was just gonna go check Hookshot Cave and then go back, but then I felt bad about everything else.
I know that feeling, man.
Like, when Quake wasn't for TR, and I was like, if it's in TR, if any progression, the next step is in TR, I'm probably in bad shape anyway, so let's just go on. Not to mention the last chest in Hookshot Cave was Burna, which gave me logical Spike Cave access as well. I was like, we'll just last locate TR if we have to. I really wish it had been Meyer. That might have given me a chance, maybe.
I think it could have. It definitely would have made it pretty darn close, I think.
But
not
big
to be.
Jim.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess down to losers. You're not out of it yet. You can still make a nice run and you know, claw your way back into it. I'm not sure who you're going up against next, but you know,
I'm not sure about the next match. I've been kind of looking into it a bit because, to be honest, the bracket that I got dropped into after qualifiers was like, I mean, you feel like you're going up against Final Four before you've even started the tournament.
We were talking about it.
We mentioned that too, and I think actually last year we were hoping that well, I don't know if you were hoping, but like you were in semis, right? But you were on the other side of the bracket, so like you couldn't face Jam. So I guess instead we just had to wait 1 year,
got my
right?
second tier. Didn't go like I wanted, but if I win my next match in losers, like looking at the other racers, I think I'm most likely to face probably Lin Lin or GGW. So like,
you know, I've never heard of those guys, GFE. So I think you're set. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's free. Top 32 is free. Also, shout outs to Hitsuyan. I'm gonna.
Oh my gosh, GFE.
I'm gonna half blame him for this loss.
Did you actually listen to? So we saw, I think, Hitsu say that you're supposed to go to Eastern early because that's where the hammer is. Did you actually listen to him, GFE?
No. He did before the race say, "Hey, you should go to Eastern because it's a hot spot." But I was like, no, I'm just gonna play my game. And honestly, the Eastern play was just, I really wanted to have Zora money before I went, and I don't mind early Eastern. It's a play I make fairly often anyway. I just, you know, if maybe Ice Rod's in the front of Eastern, it's a different story. But nope, not today.
Alrighty. Any final thoughts, buddy?
Just always appreciate everybody that puts work into all this. Thank you, Clear Mouse and Sabo. Look, even though this didn't go like I wanted, I still look forward to watching it back, hearing what y'all have to say. Thanks to our tracker, Scott G239.
Scott G, real homie.
And you know, thanks to everyone who puts in everything for this. There's so many background people who do everything to get SGLIVE going just right. So I appreciate everyone. It's a great community, and even when you lose, you still have a good time.
Right on, dude. Right on.
Yeah, so certainly, yeah. Best of luck moving forward, GFE. You know, don't be intimidated by anybody. People are also intimidated to face you. So, you know, everyone, and this is also random, right? So certainly best of luck to you.
Yeah. Fear the clown route.
Is that why you listen to Hitsu, GFE?
Yikes.
All right. There's neither here nor there. All right, but certainly, yeah. So, certainly, best of luck. Certainly, looking forward to getting the rest of the matches scheduled because you know, at least from a viewer's perspective, this is super exciting to watch. Right, so much good competition and talent just being put on display.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for this broadcast. There's lots of link to the past league action going on SpeedGaming 1, 2, and 3 kind of across the board over the evening tonight. So tune in for a bunch of fun races. We got some great commentators doing some work, and some great runners, you know, doing what they do in Hyrule here. I had a great time hanging out with Clear Mouse. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Yeah, no, this is great. I look forward to our next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we'll have to do this again. Really fun. And to Scott G, our wonderful tracker, that's always appreciated, buddy. Thanks for stepping in there. I'll give you the final word, Clear Mouse. So yeah, thanks.
Oh yeah, no, thanks, and of course, you know, big thanks to Gem and GFE for allowing us to restream you. You guys put on actually like a really good, really fun race to be able to watch. Just watch out for for the book GFE in the future. I guess maybe that's the city constellation, and yeah, of course, big thanks to I guess like the Speaking channels. And as Sabo said, there's so much randomizer action, Speaking Live, and League all going on. So definitely. If you want more rando, stay tuned and look out for the other channels. Until then, have a great night.